Welcome back to Food City Friday here in the Daytime Kitchen. Once again, I'm joined by registered dietitian Nicole Pazdziorko. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am great. You know, the last time we were together, we were talking about breakfast and dinner and lunch and National Store Brands Month. We're keeping that theme going a little bit, but we're also talking about, I know a lot of folks have made some resolutions, some goals for the new year. We need to keep our immune health in good shape for the rest of the year.
Yes, especially in the cold months when we're susceptible to illness, a lot of things going around. So, and I think a lot of things that are overlooked when it comes to immune health, you hear the term boosting your immunity, what foods you can eat to boost your immunity. And while immunity cannot be boosted in a single day, it is something that is built over time. You do that by eating a variety of different foods that are rich in nutrients, but there are some specific things that we can focus on incorporating in our diet that are going to kind of help support our immune health.
So where should we get started? I mean, we want to build up, and we want to build everything up. You know, everything, you need to start slow and build it up. Where's a good place to start?
So a critical nutrient to focus on is vitamin A. Now, vitamin A helps to maintain the lining of the respiratory tract that defends against illness and injury, basically foreign invaders. And vitamin A is going to be found in those red and orange fruits and vegetables. So think carrots, sweet potatoes, squash, they're going to be rich in vitamin A. And then also dark leafy greens. So dark greens and then red and orange vegetables, that's where you're going to get the majority of your vitamin A. I love featuring them in a sweet potato chili. Certainly salads, of course, are going to be a great way to feature more of those. And then the next thing, one that's probably pretty familiar to most people when it comes to immune health, is vitamin C. And a lot of people think of citrus fruits.
We've heard about that since day one in grade school. Yes.
Absolutely. Vitamin C, there's kind of a debate over whether or not it can kind of shorten the length of illness, but really incorporating it regularly is going to be your best bet. So citrus fruits like grapefruits and oranges, but also berries are going to be a great source. So raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, and then one of the best sources of vitamin C is actually bell peppers.
Really?
In a single cup of bell peppers, you're going to get over 100% of your daily needs for that.
That is amazing. I learned something today, because when you think about vitamin C, I think everybody's mind automatically goes to these citrus fruits out here. But there are other great sources. I did not realize bell peppers were so rich in vitamin C.
Yes, absolutely. Really, all fruits and vegetables, most people aren't at risk for having too little vitamin C, but the more you can eat of those, really the better off you're going to be. Of course, we have orange juice over here, but I've actually featured this for a unique reason, and that is vitamin D. So you can get orange juice fortified with calcium and vitamin D. It's not naturally found in oranges, but it's going to be added to that. So actually that can be a sneaky source. And the reason that vitamin D is important is just a critical nutrient that helps to build up your, basically identify and fight pathogens. That's what it's going to help to do. And so it's also going to be found in things like egg yolks, salmon, and shellfish are going to be good sources of vitamin D. And of course the best source is sunlight. Our body,
get out and take a walk in the sunlight.
Absolutely. Although it's going to be kind of hard at this time of year to really get adequate sunlight. And so you can think about a supplement if needed after consulting with a physician. Now, of course, the first line of defense is a healthy diet, making sure you're eating a well-rounded variety of foods.
And you know, you make a great point. It is cold, and I know a lot of folks don't want to get outside, but whenever it does warm up and you can get outside and get the sunlight, that is so vitally important to your overall well-being.
Yes, absolutely. Our skin is going to help to synthesize that vitamin D, and it really is. All you need is like 15 minutes. And then the last nutrient that's really important for immune health is going to be zinc. Similar to vitamin C, it's going to help activate T cells, so it's really important for fighting pathogens and just building immunity overall. And so shellfish and again salmon is going to be a good source, but also nuts and seeds have zinc. And so the more of that you can get in your diet, the better off. Again, if you're unable or have trouble meeting those nutrients, you can consider a supplement. We have a line of top care supplements that are fantastic. And you can speak with one of our Food City pharmacists about what supplements are going to work with your regimen.
And you really do need to consult with your physician before you start on any supplement, just because if you're taking any other medication, you got to watch out for that. Anytime you're taking something that is not part of your diet, you need to check with your physician.
Absolutely. And even before making drastic changes to your diet, I think it's a good idea to consult with your dietitian or even consult with, if you're taking medications, your pharmacist, because there can be food and drug interactions. And then of course, if you have a dietitian, you can consult with them too about kind of personalizing it.
And remember, remember when you're sitting around, I know this time of year a lot of folks are watching football, watching basketball, sitting in front of getting a lot of screen time. Make sure you're eating a healthy snack if you're snacking. And nuts are a great way to go. You were mentioning the zinc. There's also some other great, you get some fiber in there as well. So make sure you're going that route if you can.
You're so right. Fiber, you're getting protein, you're getting healthy fats, and vitamin E, another antioxidant.
Now, we look at this, and you were mentioning vitamin C and the peppers and everything. I didn't realize the other day that there's a lot in broccoli too.
Yes, there's vitamin C in broccoli. We hear a lot about eating your broccoli, right? And kids don't like it, but there's a reason that it's recommended.
Broccoli.
I do too.
I love broccoli.
I do too, and I even did as a child. So, but I think there's a good reason it is recommended so much, because it is kind of one of those nutrient powerhouses. It's just got so much in there. So broccoli and cauliflower, and I think immune health is really tied to our gut health too.
Yes.
And so the more you can eat of a diverse diet featuring lots of plant foods, the better you are for kind of building that soil, is the analogy I like to use for your gut health. And then adding in some probiotics from Greek yogurt, kimchi, kombucha, that's going to help too.
Right. And before we let you go, we want to remind everybody that everything you see here is a store brand at your local Food City. It is National Store Brands Month. We want to encourage you to check out all the different store brands at your local Food City.
Yes.
All right, Nicole, thank you so much for stopping by.
Well, thank you for having me.
I learn something every time you step in here. It is so much fun.
Good.
Hey, folks, foodcity.com for more information. Make sure you check out that Pickwell selection as well. We'll be back with more Daytime coming up.